What's up, YouTube? It's that time again. Oh man, booster box season for Oath of the Gatewatch. What will we pull in our case? Will it have an expedition? Will it have two? Darius has already pulled two expeditions out of one box. Can we possibly make that happen? He even pulled a Wasteland. I don't know how Dan did it, but he did. So, I might put a link to that video in the comments below. Other than that, we're bringing Paula Dean back out of retirement. She loves her Eldrazi's with butter. And yes, that will be the saying for this entire series. And let's crack this box of Oath of the Gatewatch. I'll tell you what, you know what I've been missing? As I itch my nose here for you guys all to see on my new type of recording, is the little piece of paper up here that talked about like F&M and all that kind of stuff, because it's just not there anymore. Well, there's only one thing to do. Only one thing to do, and that's to start opening this box. If this is your first booster box opening, or if you're just returning to Magic, we're going to go over the anatomy of a booster pack for the first time. We don't really go over the commons because there's so many of them. Commons indicated by a black set indicator right there. And we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 common cards, followed by 3 uncommons, which we'll notice by silver. In this case, Cinder Barons, Immobilizer Eldrazi, and Gift of Tusk. This is followed by a rare, which is gold, or a mythic, which is orange, and possible foil card or expedition. We're always, if you want to look at any cards during the video, make sure you just pause it and take a look. The one thing we're going to go over is the rares in this series. And the first rare is a really good one. It's Reality Smasher. 5 mana, one of it being colorless, which is the new theme for this set. Kind of like a 6th color, per se. For a 5/5 trample with haste, when it becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, counter that spell unless its controller discards a card. Very solid card. I expect to see this card go over 10, 12 bucks at least. Definitely going to be a 4 of in a lot of sets. We got the full art island and then a Scion token. It's our cool Scion token as well. So I think we're typically going to see about 7 foils in a box. Some of the main commons, a couple uncommons, and then 1 rare and possibly a mythic. Embodiment of Fury, Birthing Hulk, Storm Chaser Mage, one of the better uncommons in the set. We will go over it. A blue and a red for 1/3, flying with haste and prowess. He's the new Monastery Swift Sphere. Expect to see 4 of in a lot of decks. Goblin Dark Dwellers, this is our Buy a Box promo card. 3 mana, double red for a 4/4 menace, so it has to be blocked by 2 or more creatures. But most importantly, whenever you cast this, you can go to your graveyard and get a converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost, and then you exile it instead. This card's insane. It's going to allow us to do Kolaghan's Command, Dromoka's Command, any type of direct damage. Really, really good card. And our first foil of the box is a Sky Scour. And I really feel like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but these foils just don't appear to be too good. Cliffhaven Vampire, Ruin in Their Wake, Relentless Hunter, and a Needle Spires. The red-white man land for 2, a red and a white, becomes a 2/1 red and white elemental creature with double strike until end of turn, and it's still a land. You can never go wrong with getting man lands. I think they'll always retain their value, even if it is a little lower, like around the $3, $4 range. But Allied Reinforcements, Jorga Auxiliary, Immobilizer Eldrazi, and a Hedron Alignment. This is an interesting card. It's a 3 mana, new way to win the game. Basically, you need 4 of these, and you need 1 in your graveyard, 1 in your exile pile, 1 in your library, and then 1 in your hand, and you can win the game if you reveal it out of your hand. I really don't think there's going to be a deck based around it, but it'll be really cool if someone can find a way to cheat that into play. Birthing Hulk, Walker of the Wastes, Iona's Blessing, and Thought-Knot Seer. There we go. This is one of the other really good Eldrazi's in the set for being a rare. Already at like 15 bucks. I expect him to go way higher. 3 uncolored and 1 colorless for 4/4, and he's basically Thoughtseize on a stick. When he enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from it and exile that card. When it leaves the battlefield, target opponent draws a card. A lot of people are trying to talk bad on this card, saying that they get to draw a card whenever they kill it, so it's really not that good. However, you are guaranteeing to remove something really game-changing from their hand for a random card back. It's just solid all the way around. There's no way around that. Definitely going to be a 4 of in some standard decks, and modern for that matter. It'll see play in Black Eldrazi, and probably like lots of the different Eldrazi builds in modern. Grip of the Royal, Chitinous Cloak, Devour in Flames, Deep Fathom Skulker, we just got this one in our fat pack. It's not really the best. 6 mana for a 4/4 Devoid. When a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. 3 uncolored and a colorless. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. Nothing too fancy to write about there. Mythics in the set that we're really looking for, in my opinion, is Kozilek's Return and Kozilek himself. So hopefully we can see a couple of the, or at least one of those in this box. Spatial Contortion, I feel like it's pretty good. Might see play in some removal for colorless. Thought Harvester, Stoneforge Acolyte, and Jordan the Rune Diver. 3 mana for a 2/3. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, draw a card. Could see play possibly in some type of a red burn deck, but I don't know. Our rare in this box is Oath of Jace. That's a foil rare. This is actually pretty good. There's a lot of people... Well, wait. Oath of Nissa is the one that's going to be really bonkers. This allows you to flip Jace really early, and I expect it to be really good. In fact, I expect it to be so good, we're just going to go ahead and sleeve it right now, especially since it's foil. Alright, I mean, we'd rather see a Reality Smasher or Thought Knot Seer for that spot, but it is what it is. Prophet of Distortion, I really like this guy in draft. Void Shatter, probably be good. I mean, Counterspell is always good. Belith Null and Amunda's Vanguard. This is one of the intro deck cards. 5 mana for a 3/3 with Cohort. If you get to do the Cohort ability, you know, tap, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control a couple times, you're obviously probably going to win that game. Don't really know how your opponent can come back from an advantage like that. From some of the boxes I've seen open, it is pretty good chances to get one of each Oath in the boxes. It's kind of like the commands from Dragons. It really just depends on the box. Relief Captain, Step Glider, Void Grafter, and Fall of the Titans. It's kind of the new burn, XX in red, but you can surge it for single X in red. It deals X damage to each up to 2 target creatures and or players. I think it could, well, I don't know. It could see play in a red burn. First uncommon's a Birthing Hulk, Cliffhaven Vampire, Flaying Tendrils, and a Minna and Dian Wildborn. 4 mana, double uncolored, red and a green for a 4/4. You can play an additional land on each of your turns. For red and a green, return a land you control to its owner's hand. Target creature gains trample until end of turn. Nothing too crazy there. Almost done with one whole column and no mythic. Really interesting. First uncommon, Submerged Boneyard. Void Grafter, another Warping Well. I'm not sure if this is the first one in this box, but we definitely got 2 of these in the fat pack I opened. And an Eldrazi Obligator, 3 mana, but for 5 mana it can take control of another creature, and it's a 3/1 with haste. I like this card. It's like a turn against, but you get a body, so definitely a pretty solid card. Last pack from that stack. If that stack wasn't good, we're going to have to do the right stack always seems like the lucky stack for me. So, first uncommon's a Cyclone Sire, Strider Harness, Weapons Trainer, and Eldrazi Mimic. Obviously, you're going to see the theme of the set is a lot of Eldrazi. 2 mana for a 2/1. Whenever another colorless creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may change Eldrazi Mimic's base power and toughness to that creature's power and toughness till end of turn. I know I went over that kind of quick, but basically, he doesn't get any abilities, but it can be devoid, so it doesn't just have to be a complete colorless creature. And we got a foil Goblin Freerunner. I feel like this guy's pretty good. Menace, he's not the haste guy, that's uncommon, but definitely not terrible. Alright, going into the right stack. We'll save the middle for last. Can we make something crazy happen? We got a foil in this pack already. Grasp of Darkness, great removal for double black. Timber Gorge, Belith Null, and a Dimensional Infiltrator. 2 mana for 2/1, Devoid, Flash, and Flying. For 1 uncolored and 1 colorless, target opponent exiles the top card of his or her library. If it's a land card, he may return the Infiltrator to its owner's hand. Yeah, that's about what I think of that. And a Chitinous Cloak, uncommon. For an uncommon foil, I'd really like to see, Warping Well or the Storm Chaser Mage, but it is what it is. I don't believe there's a foil in this pack. Embodiment of Insight, Spatial Contortion, Thought Harvester, and a Seagate Wreckage. Still no mythic. Tap for a colorless, 2 and a colorless. You can draw a card, activate this ability only if there's no cards in your hand. I like the new zombie tokens too. I almost screwed that up. Pretty sweet. If that's your thing, pretty sweet. Embodiment of Fury. Flayer Drone, really good in draft. Tears of Valakut, and a Stoneforge Masterwork. I know we got this in the Fat Pack as well. 1 mana, equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control. It shares a creature type with it. Equip 2. I think it's going to be too slow. I mean, I hope it sees play, but I just don't think it will. Yeah, we're going to have to make a separate pile for Mythics. I'm starting to get worried about this box. Timber Gorge, Flaying Tendrils, Tears of Valakut, and a Vile Redeemer. 3 mana for a 3/3, Devoid Flash. When you cast it, you can pay colorless. If you do, put a 1/1 Eldrazi Scion creature token for each non-token creature that died under your control this turn. This could be something crazy in like 4-color Rally. I don't know if does 4-color Rally run green? Surely it does. I think it does. Yeah, because it runs Collected Company. Essence Depleter, Cinder Barrens, Visions of Brutality, and Remorseless Punishment. 5 mana for choose one of the following. Target opponent loses 5 life unless that player discards 2 cards or sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. And repeat this process once. Sounds like a great card. Oh, hey, we got a foil island. Sleeving that real quick. Those are always worth some money. But the card always sounds great, but unfortunately, I think it's LSV that says, the opponent's never going to pick what you want them to pick. So it's always a card in their favor. No matter how good the card is, it'll always be in their favor. If it's one of the... It could end the game, honestly. So, I mean, it's not terrible by any means. Make a Stand, Relentless Hunter, Void Shatter, and our first Mythic is Sphinx of the Final Word. It's the it's the worst one in the set, actually. 5 uncolored, double blue for a 5/5. It can't be countered. It has flying and hexproof. Instant and sorcery spells you control can't be countered by spells or abilities. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do... we'll go ahead and scoot this over and we'll do a Mythic pile right here. So we typically see another 3 Mythics in a box. You can see as many as 5. And as little as 2. I don't think I've had anything worse than 2 Mythics in a box. If you have, let me know in the comments down below. Kazu's Toll Collector. Nissa's Judgment. Unity of Purpose. And a Bearer of Silence. 2 mana for a 2/1 with Devoid. When you cast Bearer of Silence, you can pay 1 in an colorless. If you do, target opponent sacrifices a creature. It has flying and it can't block. Not too sure what I think about it. I don't really think it's going to see play in anything. Just got a lot going on for 2 mana for a 2/1. At least you don't need a colorless to cast it, but you do need a colorless to pay its extra ability. Roiling Waters, really good in draft. Strider Harness, Malker Soothsayer, and a Hissing Quagmire. Alright, got another man land here. Enters the battlefield tap for green or black. For 1, a green and a black, it becomes a 2/2 black and green elemental creature with death touch until end of turn, and it's still a land. Very solid land. This is probably... It's probably going to be my favorite one, just for the fact that everybody plays Abzan, I feel like. Pyromancer's Assault, Gift of Tusks, Malky Soothsayer, and Draenus Chosen. This card's not too good. It's just an empty filler spot for the bulk rares. 4 mana for a 2/2. You can tap an untap ally you control and put a 2/2 black zombie token creature on the battlefield. And that sounds pretty good, except for it comes on the battlefield tapped. And that's what's going to make that card worth nothing. Now, if it came out untapped and you could potentially do something with it, it might be pretty good. Cyclone Sire, Shitness Cloak, Mind Melder, and Call of the Gatewatch. Not sure what I think about this card still. 3 mana, search your library for a Planeswalker card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Could be good for commander players, so you might want to pick up one in foil. But other than that, man, I think it's our middle stack that's going to be ridiculous this time. Here's the Goblin I was talking about earlier, the Reckless Bushwhacker. I think this guy might always be worth at least 50 cents to $1 just for the fact of, he gives everybody else haste and gives them extra attacks. So definitely watch out for those when you're drafting. Harvest Troll, Wall of Resurgence, insane card when you're drafting. And Sylvan Acolyte, 2 mana for a 2/3 Vigilance. As long as you control 6 or more lands, it gets all land creatures you get +2/+2. Don't know why I'm getting tongue-tied on that, because he's not that good. I'm sure there'll be a deck based around him. I'm not seeing it right now, but that definitely does not mean it's not going to happen. Grip of the Royal, another Wall of Resurgence, Bonds of Mortality, and we got a Oath of Gideon. 3 mana, we get 2/1/1 allied token creatures, which is pretty good. Each planeswalker you control enters the battlefield with an additional loyalty counter on it. I think this could definitely see play. It's a turn 3, 2/1/1s, and then it lets Gideon ultimate as soon as he comes out without being destroyed. Pretty good card. All right, we're one mythic in, and we have the whole middle stack to go. Really just want to see a Kozilek in this box. Now, to give you an idea of how rare some cards are, Mandling River and then Reflector Mage. This is going to be really good. You're definitely going to want to foil this one for Commander. Ridiculous card in draft. Well, in draft, he's probably not quite as strong. Well, no, he probably is. 3 mana for a 2/3 that bounces something. Bonds of Mortality and Captain's Claws. Captain's Claws are 2 mana. Equipped creature gets +1/+0. Whenever it attacks, you get a 1/1 Knight allied token on the battlefield tapped and attacking. This card would have been insane if you could have held him back and not made him tap and attack. So it was close, but no cigar. Guys, this is a great time to hit subscribe, like, or leave me a comment down below. It helps us keep doing these series and lets us keep doing as many openings as we do here at the channel. And most importantly, lets you know as soon as a new video goes live. Grip of the Royal, Tears of Valakut, Weapons Trainer, and a Matter Reshaper. All right, this is going to be another card that's going to see play in Standard. It's kind of like Collected Company on a lower end. 3 mana, granted it's 2 and a colorless. For 3/2, so it's pretty aggressive, but when it dies, reveal the top card of your library. You may put that card on the battlefield if it's a permanent card with converted mana, costs 3 or less. Otherwise, put that card in your hand. This works for land, so I mean, you get to put a land on the battlefield as well. So it's not a very bad card at all. And if this is your first video of mine, leave me a comment down below and say hi. I'm really good about talking back to everybody. And I appreciate each and every person that watches these. Roiling Waters, Mind Melter, Havoc Sower, and an Overwhelming Denial. I mean, it can't be countered by spells or abilities, and it counters target spell, and you can surge it for 2. It'll always see play, I'm sure. I mean, I just can't imagine it's a counter spell. And any counter spell you can surge. It's pretty good. I feel like there's a foil in this pack. Reaver Drone, Submerged Boneyard, Devour in Flames, Zendikar Resurgent, 5 uncolored double green. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of that type of land produced. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. I don't think this is going to see play in Standard. This is definitely going to see play in Commander. Definitely want to foil this one. And yeah, we did have a foil Thought Harvester for our other uncommon foil. And that should be all the uncommon foils and the rare foil. We could potentially see a Mythic, but we should definitely be having lots of common foils. Unless this is just a really, really bunk box for our first box. Seed Guardian, Walker of the Waste, Warping Well. I think it's our second or third one in this box. I think it's second one in this box. Eldrazi Displacer. Okay, this is another really good Eldrazi. The only white Eldrazi, I believe. 2 uncolored and a white for a 3/3 devoid. 2 uncolored and a colorless. You can exile another creature, return it to the battlefield, tapped under its owner's control. This is a flicker on a stick, and man, it can flicker, 2-3 things a turn when you have mana later. It can flicker everything that's attacking on their turn so it doesn't hit you. Flicker some of your stuff in and out. Really, really good card. And we got a foil Brute Strength. And I mean, I really hope you guys see this. Like, these are terrible, I feel like. I feel like the foiling process was absolutely terrible for this set. I mean, let me see if I can even compare it to a... look at this. This is the Buy a Box promo. And it lights up pretty decent. I mean, I just hope you guys can see that on camera, because I think that's horrible. I mean, I think it's absolutely horrible. I cannot believe it's that bad. All right, we really need to see some Mythics. Otherwise, this box was a huge waste of money. Reckless Bushwhacker, Balth Pulp, Reflector Mage, and Tyrant of Valakut. I'm pretty sure we've already went over him in this box. He's in the intro decks. You can search him for 5 or pay 7 for him for a 5/4. If you search him, he does 3 damage to target creature or player. He's not that good. Man, I'm getting worried, guys. I'm getting worried. Can you really come back? I mean, 1 expedition we come back for the whole box. So, Relic Captain, Null Caller, Jorga Auxiliary, Crush of Tentacles is another Mythic we finally got. 4 uncolored double blue. You can search it for 3 in double blue. Return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. If its search cost was paid, put an 8/8 blue octopus creature token onto the battlefield. Alright, so definitely a blue theme box here. No other blue Mythics, I don't believe, so be interesting to see what we get for the last one. However, I think I just spoiled it, because it's going to be a Mirrorpool. Embodiment of Fury, Embodiment of Insight. It would be funny if we got 3 embodiments. A Weapons Trainer, and there is our 3rd Mythic, Mirrorpool. I'd be surprised if we see any other Mythics in this box. Comes in the battlefield tapped. This is going to be insane for Commander, by the way. I'll just let you read that. Bam. Tap for a colorless. 2 and a colorless. Copy target instant sorcery spell. You may choose... It's got to be you control, but you choose new top targets for that copy. 4 and a colorless. Put a token on the battlefield that's a copy of target creature you control. Just really, really good. I really like that card all the way around. Really like that card all the way around. Speaking of a blue box, we got another blue foil here. It'll be interesting to see what that is. Make a stand. Hopefully it's a negate. Negate foils always go good. Grasp of Darkness. Press into service. Oath of Nissa. There we go. This is the best oath. This is the one that's going to see play in supposedly Vintage and Legacy as well as Modern and Standard. 1 green. When Oath of Nissa is entered the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature, land, or planeswalker card from among them and put it in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast planeswalkers. Obviously not the second part, but yeah, it's going to be good. And a comparative analysis, not so great. All right, can we get one more Mythic? Can we break the train here? I think we definitely got the worst Mythics you could possibly get in a box. So an Expedition would really make up for that right now. Pyromancer's Assault, Seed Guardian, Flaying Tendrils, Sifter of Skulls, 4 for, well, 3 in black for 4/3 Devoid. When another non-token creature you control dies, put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion token onto the battlefield. Could be cool in 4-color Rally as well. 2 packs remaining. 2 packs remaining. I need you guys to cross your fingers on the internet. It needs to happen. Because we need something good. Reaver Drone, Submerged Boneyard, Ruin in Their Wake, and it's Aaliyah. That's what I'm going to call her. And it's Ali, Eternal Pilgrim. This card's going to be kind of cool. I'm sure his decks will be a 4-of, but I just don't see it yet. Black and a white for a 2/3 at Death Touch. For 1, you can sacrifice another creature. You gain life equal to its sacrificed creature's toughness. For 1, a white and a black, you can sacrifice another creature and exile a target non-land permanent. You can only activate that ability, though, if you have 10 life more than your starting total. It's kind of hard to do. I tried to make that happen at the pre-release with a huge life gain deck with a whole bunch of these clerics and some other stuff. And you just don't realize how fast they can attack you down. Immolating Glare, Havoc Sower, Storm Chaser. All right, one more good Mythic there, or uncommon. Basically, it's going to be a rare in this box. This box is pretty trashy. And we got the Last Man land, a Wandering Fumarole. Enters the battlefield tapped for, you can tap it for a blue and a red. For 2 blue and a red, it becomes a 1/4 blue and red elemental creature. The cool thing is, for 0 and instant ability, you can switch it at any time to make it a 4/1. Pretty cool. I mean, it can come out, you can, I don't know, make it survive stuff. Or just make it do more damage. But that's it for today's box. I can honestly say our first box of Oath of the Gatewatch was a complete dud. When these are the 3 Mythics that you pull, you really need to see a Nissa, a Chandra, Kozilek, obviously. Even Chandra is not that high. You're really just looking for anything other than these. Mirrorpool should be alright. Mirrorpool should be covered. But it's really got to be Kozilek or Kozilek's Return if you want to make any money on your booster box. And I sure hope this has helped you decide. If you need some singles, make sure you buy them because you're not guaranteed to get very good singles in your box. Don't make the same mistake other people make. Always buy singles from your local game store.